next person I would like to ask. My speech is finished. You need this?
No, I will meet you. Very good afternoon. First of all, I would like to apologize because my English is not that much good, so I have to bring this paper with me so that I can read it or I can just communicate it properly. Still, I'll try to speak out properly without seeing this paper. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself in front of you. My name is Khanjan Nath. I'm an SAFSK Screen Lab discipline this year, and I'm from northeastern part of India, which is not connected to Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh. So it's like far from the mainland India. Are you getting?
Yeah, get closer.
Yeah.
A little closer.
So actually, today I'm a little bit nervous also because for the first time I'm going to. Clear my voice?
Yeah, that's fine.
So that I shouldn't move probably.
that's
Now
good.
it's fine. Thank you. So again, I'm repeating that I'm a little bit nervous because for the first time I'm pitching my project in front of you, because before that I made films. It's like my own journey, and I made these films in my own village with my village people. So this is something big for me. So now let's start the original pitching of the project. The title of my project is Why the Blue Hill is Crying. So it's a film about a very remote village. The name of the village is Karbi Anglong, which is situated in a state named Assam, a place of India. So it's a story about a Karbi youth guy. Karbi is a tribe of Assam. So it's a story about a Karbi youth tribe. His name is Longsing. He is around 25 years old, who is a member of a local insurgents group of that particular place. One day he is appointed to expand the activities of that particular group in a very remote village of that particular district. That particular village name is Punja. So he has to move that particular village to expand and recruit new people for his insurgent group. Then in that village he met a school teacher. The school teacher name is Biren Singh, and interestingly that particular school teacher is the only educated person in this village, and he teaches in a lower primary school in that village. So when he meet the school teacher, that school teacher is completely opposite in character of Longsing. The school teacher, he believes on education. He thought that education can change the fate of the community. But in return, the Longsing, he thinks that weapon can give that economical and social right to their community. So there is a clash of opinion in between them. But still, they have a good bonding. And Longsing starts teaching the children in the school of Biren Singh. And in between that, Longsing is trying to influence the village people to his own insurgent group so that they can involve themselves with this insurgent group. In between that, he falls into love with a girl. Her name is Ringli in the village. One day, what happened that insurgents group kidnapped that particular school teacher. They believe that school teacher is creating awareness against this insurgency group. So that group court-martialed the teacher and they decide to kill the teacher. So that the particular responsibility is given to Longsing to execute this order. That Longsing first argues with the leader that no, that teacher is a good guy. He is doing good for our community, but finally he has to obey that order of that insurgent group, and he killed the teacher. So it gives a mental shock to him. Now his eyes is open that, oh, whatever he has done, it's not good for his community. So once he come back to the village, he sees that entire village is devastated. The school is closed, and the cows there, the school becomes the shelter for the cows and the other animals. The school children, they are just roaming everywhere in the village. They're playing, they're swimming, they're climbing the trees, and there is no one in the village who can guide the villagers. Now Longsing has to take the place of the school teacher. Now all the villagers are looking at him because Longsing is an educated young boy. Now the villagers, they force Longsing that you have to open the school because nobody is there to show us the path, show us the light. Now Longsing is in a dilemma because he knows what he did, but when he sees the face of that innocent villagers, that self-realism starts inside him. So he feels that he should quit that insurgent group and he should reopen the school, or he should complete the half-done dream of the school teacher. So he goes back to his insurgent group and said that I'm not going to associate with you anymore. I need to go back to the village and I should mix up myself with them. So he leaves the insurgent group and come back to the village. When he comes back, he feels fresh because he sees the entire village, the greenery hills, the village. It gives a new meaning to his life. When he's coming back to the village, when he's just going through the green paddy field, few boys come by a bike and they shoot Longsing there. And Longsing, all over bloods are there, and Longsing is going to die. So that is just a briefing of my story. So thing is that now question maybe arise that why this type of story? Because a lot of films are already made in insurgency or terrorism. Then why this is? It may be arise just a common question. So before asking the question, I would like to answer it. Actually, I belongs to a place. It's a very disturbance area where I have seen a lot of insurgency groups since my childhood. They used to give curfews. They used to declare curfews for many days without any reasons. So we are disconnected from the mainland. So, in that particular scene, I feel that that disturbance area and then the story which is already not yet discovered by anyone. So we should move with these stories, and we should discover some untouched story to the global audience. I feel that cinema is a global language, and that spoken language should not be a bar for a good film. For me, cinema is actually not in my blood; it's in my heart. So, in my earlier film, whichever I have made, that simplicity and that rawness is always goes together. So I believe if we can go with this film, if I can make this film, the same thing will continue in the future. Thank you. Any question after that? Yeah.
So, this was very good, Khanjan. So,
I don't know how I communicate with you, but due to my language barrier, but still I tried a lot.
We understood everything. It was very
Oh,
no,
thank you.
you were very clear. No worries about that. Is there anyone who wants to start?
Who's going to start on that?
I've been watching the project since its beginning.
Well, it has evolved.
Yeah.
It's been,
Well, actually,
it's
and it's-
been working a year. It has
No,
changed.
actually I'm working since 2006.
I
That is
know.
what I-
I'm sorry. I mean, with us for a year.
Yeah.
We might have pushed you sometimes, actually.
Well, I think the new script is very good, the one I just received. So, and I think you
I
pitched it
think
really very well.
Pawan can pass comments on it.
would you want to say something, Paman? Because Paman was the mentor. I'll acknowledge him later, but
Yeah, but I would love to hear from other people because we have been working on this for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're right. It makes sense. Is there someone else who wants to say something?
Well, I'd be interested to know how the outcome of the film has that changed, because clearly you've got a very strong point of view coming from this heart, this knowledge of the detail of this story. But in the process of your development, obviously a lot of things have changed, but has the outcome of the story and the meaning of the story, has that stayed intact, or is that also developed?
I think it's still under development. So it's because last 1 year, though we're still working in this project, I think after going back to my home, I think we need to develop some points more.
He's not getting.
I'd be keen to hear what's changed over the year of the
I
lab.
think he's not getting.
What's the biggest thing that's changed in the story and why?
Yeah, that particular lab, I think I know I and my other participants must thank for this lab, because it changed the perception about how to write a script. Before coming to this lab, we have a lot of confusions, like how to develop a character and how to just go with deep logic and all. But after attending this particular lab, I feel that we just learn a little bit about how to develop the character and how actually a script should go. So I think it's a great achievement for us.
So what was it that actually changed in your script? I'm keen to know the actual detail of your script.
Before coming to this lab, it was like one-sided kind of story. The character is somewhere roaming here and there, and it doesn't have any particular goal. But after coming to that lab and after meeting a lot of people and just receiving a lot of feedback from them, now my character is in the right path.
Khanjan, can I ask?
Response?
Don't want to ask.
Yeah.
Mina?
No, the end of the story, is it a sense of hopelessness? I mean, where one character, of course, who's the educator, and he goes. The guy who chooses a path again of education and transformation, he also goes. So, is there a sense of hopelessness you're trying to
No,
convey,
it's not.
or?
I feel it's not that, because that self-realization is the main thing for this film, and that physical, that is not that much meaning for that particular film. I think when that main character, he realized himself that which is the particular right path for him. I think that is the main thing.
I've got another question to do with the way the audience is going to perceive the central character, who's the protagonist. And I guess it's centered around how the killing happens, so that the audience will accept the protagonist for essentially, I would think, at least half of the film, the second half, if not, more than that. I'm not sure where this killing happens. But I think that the way you portrayed their relationship to begin with, it's going to be quite shocking for the audience to have experienced that. I mean, there's also about the question, who knows what when, and I'm assuming that the village doesn't know that this man has killed his the
The
teacher.
village doesn't know.
But we, the audience, will know. So how have you taken steps to ensure that we will want to go on the journey with the protagonist, having done that shocking thing?
Yeah, in this film there are two killings. The first one, that when that main protagonist killed the teacher.
Yes.
So before killing, there is a development in between the teacher and that Longsing, which is the main protagonist. So when Longsing comes to the village, and he just start staying in a villager's home. That villager he introduced Longsing to the village school teacher, because if anything happens in the village, everybody goes to the village teacher that this thing is happening in my home, please give me the solution. So everybody used to go to the village school teacher. When that village man just go to the school teacher, then school teacher just ask him that just send that guy to my school tomorrow. So when Longsing goes to the school, so they meet for the first time. So after that, the development in between the school teacher and Longsing goes on, and they argues a lot. Still, they have a good bonding because their ideology is different. And that school teacher used to give lectures in front of villagers because there are a lot of villages in hills. So he used to travel one hill to another hill to give the lectures in front of the villagers and tell them how the education is important, not this insurgency. So in that way, he is little bit different from that Longsing, and but they have a good bonding when they come to the school. They help each other, and somehow Longsing is motivated by the school teacher. But when it comes about killing, he is a member of insurgency group, so he has to obey the order of the leader. So that is already executed by the leader, and when he goes back to the camp, which is actually situated inside a forest, so that leader forced him to kill the teacher.
So basically, you're expecting the audience to sympathise with him being forced into making it. And presumably it works because you guys have all been working on it.
Well, I think Trish's point is really valid.
Very valid,
I mean, I
yeah.
think that's what the tricky part that I still see, and I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
sees.
We all
is
talk
the
about
second killing. I mean, how the realization then turns into the killing, and it's going to have to be very delicately balanced because this is actually the problem. When I read the script, my problem.
I mean,
with
it is about the audience sympathy because it will go backwards and forwards depending on what's happening, but it is kind of crossing a huge line. So I'd be very interested to see, because if you manage that, that will be an amazing. That will be what is unique in the film, because usually films cannot survive that.
We had a conversation when we were talking about pitching the film, and we were talking. Do you remember we were talking about where? So Longsing and the teacher both have the same goal, which is the freedom of the people, but Longsing doesn't. The point at which he realizes that was a shared goal is after the death of the teacher, when he goes to return to the village. So at the point where, not wanting, so we were talking about like where do we, because both of them have both of them have values and goals.
Yeah, they have the same values in a different way.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yes, but it's trying to figure out at what point.
Well, it's just about character and how the audience latches onto a character in order to be able to drive the narrative. And if it drops away, it's very hard to get it back again. And this is primarily in cinema. It's much stronger in cinema than in the shifting attention with television. So just very interested in that.
I think this is a good point because we are also in the process of developing it. I think this will definitely help him to understand.
Excellent. But I mean, having said that, there are films that have succeeded with this, but it is a question of degree of how you can convey that. So anyway, it sounds like a really, really strong project.
Thank you.
Someone else wants to add on this? Coffee's coming. Anyone else?
I haven't read the script, and I'm not.
You're not supposed to have read it. This would be against protocol.
To get this far is commendable.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Any question?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's go.
So our third and last.
As you see, we've for the first year done 3 instead of 2. I think we were encouraged
this is the hero.
Last year's requirement when we said we should do. So, but finances are limited, so we have to really handle this carefully. But we were happy to have a third one, and here is our third one, Tare Mai from Japan.